Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Texas Immersive End of Year Showcase. We're just going to give it a minute or two as we hear the ding dong as people enter and join us into our end of year showcase. So stay tuned, enjoy the tunes. Get that? No pun intended. And we'll get going really soon.
Hi, Erin.
Hey, Frank. How you doing?
Good, good. This is really fun.
Thanks so much for coming yesterday. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did, totally.
Well, this is the advanced students today. So be prepared to be wowed a little bit more.
Okay, great. So this is a whole different group of students then?
Yep. So yesterday was the more beginner students in audience class. They're sharing their first experiences. And then one or two from our immersive hack lab and experimental storytelling, and then a lab project that kind of spun out of the class, which was the UT admissions project. I think you came to the breakout room for that.
I did, yeah, that was fun, definitely. Great. So how many projects will there be?
In total today, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'll be 5 projects today.
Great.
2 breakout rooms, and then some awards and senior send-off, because we have our first graduating cohort of 26 students.
Wow. Okay. And is this what, do they get masters?
There is 2 students graduating with a master's, and three master's students, and the rest are undergraduate. So both graduate and undergraduate can join Texas Immersive. I
see. Great, cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're going to get started. I see hi Max and Moraba and Madeline. A lot of people are saying hello in the chat, so really glad to see you all the way from Spain, which is exciting. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Professor Erin Riley. I'm the founding director of Texas Immersive here at Moody College of Communication. So welcome to the first Texas Immersive Showcase. This is the second day of our showcase, so thanks to those who were here yesterday. If you are just coming to our showcase today, yesterday we kind of did an overview of our beginning students who shared their first designed guest experiences. And we then also had one big project that actually launched yesterday at our showcase, which spun out of a class into our lab for faculty and students to work on together. And then we had some awards, which, hats off to the Yeti experience and the Be a Longhorn campaign, which won yesterday's awards. So today, we are focused more on the advanced students of Texas Immersive, those who are finishing up the final course of the program, or actually all finishing up the final program. That's wild. So a little bit about Texas Immersive. So Texas Immersive is a sequence of courses in the advertising and PR school at Moody College of Communication. However, it's the first sequence that is now interdisciplinary. So all students across the University of Texas at Austin can apply to be in the program. And currently we have 7 colleges represented. So you have students not only from advertising and PR, but the radio, TV, film department here at Moody, as well as the Education College, School of Education, Computer Science, Arts, Entertainment, Technology, and Integrated Media from the College of Fine Arts, and Psychology from the College of Natural Science. So lots of variety. And we focus on the future of media. really thinking about audience and how we engage audiences in new practices with emerging platforms that change the way we shape and tell stories to build immersive experiences. Very much a blend of physical and digital, and thinking about the hybrid world we definitely are living in. We launched this program in spring of 2020, right before the pandemic. So majority of these students actually did all of this work via online and social distanced from each other, whether they were in a big production studio or in a lab. So huge kudos to all of them for doing a lot of firsts. So today we're going to, I'm just going to do a run through of what we have available today. Josh, you want to switch it to the outline? There we go. So this is what you're going to see today. We're going to do Experience TXI and Solar Run as our first presentations, and then we'll break out into group feedback. And then Eyes on the Sky is a big transdisciplinary project that Moody College of Communication, College of Fine Arts, and the Cockrell School of Engineering have been working on, thanks to a lot of faculty, Maura Bajaj's expertise, Sven Ortel in College of Fine Arts, Deepak Chetty in RTF, and myself, along with grad students and undergrad. You're going to get a good feel. And all of these are projects you'll see are projects that actually we incorporated into our courses and gave students an opportunity to work on a real world project. Then we'll do a breakout for Eyes on the Sky, and we'll do awards. So I just want to quickly introduce, we started the first Explorer Awards. Students said, what if we did an award? Who knew what I was getting into when I thought, oh yeah, let's do an award. But luckily I brought together 3 amazing women, creative women in the industry who helped me think through the Texas Immersive Explorer Awards. And that is Dr. Francesca Marie Smith, Lisa Bennett, and Ani Vardavarian. So you might see them in the breakout rooms, and they might be giving you guys information or feedback. They've had a chance to look at yesterday and today's projects and go do a full deep dive. So I'm sure they have plenty of feedback they want to give to you guys. But that doesn't mean just wait for them to speak. When you get in the breakout rooms, I really encourage you guys all to ask questions, dive into the projects, really have a conversation with these students and what they've been developing and their process along the way. And I will go into bios of them as we get into the awards, but maybe like they could wave if we go into like a whole like gallery view. Lisa and Fresca and Ani, if you guys wave so that everyone can see you, that would be awesome. I can't see you because I'm on the screen, but I assume you're waving. Oh, I saw Ani. Okay, good. Okay, caught you. So I'm going to, let's get started. The next thing is we're going to pass it over to Texas Immersive Experience. This is the first experience of the showcase. Sarah, Kavina, you guys want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. I can screen share.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Hi, everyone. I hope you are all having a great night so far. We're the Texas Immersive Marketing team, and we have created an experiential marketing experience piece for the Texas Immersive program called Experience TXI. So what is Texas Immersive, or we call it TXI for short? Let's find out. Uncharted experiences await. Let's dive in. But first, let's meet the team. I'm Kavina. I'm the co-creative director along with Sarah, and Taylor is the writing lead along with Katie and Paige, and Ivy is the multimedia lead along with Janelle and Josh. Jin is the game development lead along with Anna. And as I mentioned before, what is Texas Immersive? Immersive is under the advertising major, but it's also bridging disciplines, which means it's open to all majors. And our team is a perfect example of that. We have so many students from so many different majors. And although we learn about immersive experiences and emerging technologies, we explore our different interests. And I can tell you that we have one common trait, and it's that we all have a curious mind. And that's really what it takes to be an explorer. Because this is such a brand new program, our ask is that we want to encourage more students to join by educating them about Texas Immersive. And as immersive students, the best way we know how, we do it by experiential marketing.
And before we dive deeper into walking through the experience, Kavina is going to talk about the audience a bit more.
We want to speak to students just like us, students with multitudes of skills who don't really quite know what to do with them just yet, ones who have ambition, but also just want to have fun. And most importantly, in this program, we want to give agency to the students during and after this marketing experience. And so I think we've done just that.
And so just a quick walkthrough of what you're going to be seeing in our experience. We're just going to show you what it's like to experience TXI. And so that's when the audience first walks through the website and they'll be introduced to the dimension where the 48 explorers are. The 48 explorers are also the first cohort of TXI students. Throughout the experience, there will also be voiceover narrations that will introduce a diverse array of students who are in Texas Immersive through different factions, and that's when you really begin the journey. Throughout the experience, there will also be clues that are laid out for the experiencers to ultimately escape and apply to TXI at the end. And so we hope through this, we're able to really show people what Texas Immersive really is and apply and to be a part of our program. And so can I get everyone to scan the QR code, and then Kavina is going to send a link to play along. And so this will be a live poll, and I'll take the most voted upon option to navigate through the experience. And just as a side note, I won't be able to walk through the whole experience for time sake, but if you're able to go on later yourself, Kavina will also send the link to the experience, and you can walk through to find smaller Easter eggs that are hidden throughout the site. You'll be able to hear some background noises now. And so yeah, I'm just gonna dive right in. And so here we'll have some brief narration that I'm just gonna click through and play.
I just hung a painting on that wall yesterday. Did one of you move it?
Nope. Wait, it was just there a minute ago.
Yeah, and so here it's really just an introduction to what's happening, and I'm gonna click into it. And so here we were first introducing the different characters and what the first 48 is. And so if you go on yourself, you're able to click and learn more about where you are and what the first 48 is. I'm just gonna play a narration for one of them.
Who are you? You aren't from Texas Immersive, are you? You don't look like a member of any of the factions of the 48. I know, I'm Cerebral, one of the group's thinkers. Resident problem solver, if you will.
And so here the same character is kind of wondering why you're on the website and why you're part of the dimension. And so that's part of when we enter the first puzzle and find out what faction we are. So if you refer back to the link that you scanned earlier or clicked earlier, you're able to walk through the puzzle with us. And so I'll be taking everything that people vote on and clicking it through. And so, yeah, so the first question is, someone left their phone at the table, what do you do? And so I'm just gonna wait for some of the votes to roll in for a couple seconds. And so it looks like most people are gonna do some snooping because curiosity got the best of them. And then next is, you're having a quiet night. And so it looks like most people are crafting. And then which game would you rather play? And so it looks like most people are saying a party favorite like Jackbox or Mario Kart. And then which genre of film intrigues you the most? And most people have clicked adventure films and want to see the action. And then you and your friends are hanging out for the weekend. What would y'all do? And then most people have said chilling in the nature, hiking, or going to a park. And then finally, which of these would you love to receive as a Christmas gift? And so most people have said the newest gaming console. And so here we'll be calculating the results of what we would be if we were all one explorer. And so if we were one explorer, we would be 33% luminary, 17% cerebral, and 50% forage. And so this is really just to highlight that no one explorer is, that we're all made up of different characters, and we're able to think, lead, and build. And so if we go to the next portion, here we also give the magic word novelty. And I can type that in for us. And so here the explorer will also be able to go along different paths that are different. And so based on whichever faction they most align with, you can click to go on it. The experience is also replayable, so you can go back and play through different characters if you would like to. I have to stop the experience here just because we'll be running out of time. But if you can go back yourself, you can play through the link that Kavita may have sent in the chat earlier. And so I'll be switching back to the presentation. And yeah, so our team hopes that through this experience, we're able to connect to new audiences through Canvas and word of mouth, showcase work through Texas Immersive students, through what we have done and what opportunities are available to them, and ultimately increase the presence of Texas Immersive at UT and drive greater discussion.
So our initial launch and our promotional plan, we want to start with Canvas, which is our student hub and everything grade related. So there's no way a student would not see it. It would start with a notification and it would pop up with a link to our experience, which you just saw. I highly, highly recommend you all to play it. It's almost like an escape room with clues, and there's 360 videos and everything on it, and student work. So highly recommend you go play through it. And so once they go through all the way to the end, there's a link to hiretexasimmersive.com, which is our main website, and it would take them to the application, and hopefully it would encourage students to apply.
And so our team's goal is that to develop this, we hope to inform new audiences about what Texas Immersive is, call them to action to apply to Texas Immersive and become an explorer themselves, and ultimately connect them to other explorers and older cohorts through Discord, LinkedIn, and our different courses. And so I invite you to come along with us as uncharted experiences await. Let's dive in. And that'll be the end of our presentation. So we're really open to feedback as well, if anyone has anything to say, but we'll probably talk about it in the breakout rooms.
Thank you so much. Round of applause.
Okay, yeah. Everyone, thank you so much. Y'all did amazing. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the next presentation. Good job. Skin cancer in Singapore, you are up. You are good to go.
Hi, my name is Arman Farsad, and with me I have Daniel Kilo, and today we're going to walk through the guest experience for Solar Run, an immersive experience selected for the President's Award for Global Learning at UT. Also on the team are fellow students Neha Momin and Sahar Ali, along with faculty Professor Aaron Riley, Dr. Harath, Dr. Atkinson, and our graduate assistant Sajeni Patel. To provide a bit of context, our team was awarded a $15,000 research grant to explore an updated approach to traditional public health initiatives relating to skin cancer awareness. We'll be utilizing immersive technologies and storytelling to create an interactive campaign targeted at young adults. We'll be first launching the project in Singapore, and then we'll be bringing it back to UT Austin later in the year. So to talk through our audience and intention, I'll give the floor to my partner in crime, Daniel.
Wow, thanks, Arman. As you just mentioned, hi, I'm Daniel. I'm our experiences development lead. Now, of course, when we're starting to develop our project, we have to analyze our target audience. As we narrowed down that we'd like to raise awareness for young adults, specifically those in the 18 to 24 age range. Because skin damage is a cumulative process, we wanted to target the range that typically sees lots of sun exposure without noticing much of the adverse effects. And of course, although we're firstly implementing our project in Singapore, we'd like to bring it back to UT and conduct the same experience with students back home. We attempt to educate these individuals by demonstrating the cosmetic effects associated with UV exposure. Although you could lecture young adults all day with the medical consequences of skin damage, until they see the results on their own faces, it's difficult to present that sense of urgency of the situation. We're creating this experience using the Phaser 3 HTML5 framework alongside a MongoDB database to store player information. We're also using 8th Wall as our preferred web AR platform to directly illustrate skin damage using their face effects feature.
Now, it's important to reiterate on those challenges we want to address an experience that led us down this specific direction. First and foremost, a personalized experience, because research brought up a sense of apathy or carelessness towards basic sun care in our target audience. That would suggest that we can't simply educate about the consequences of skin cancer. We have to make it seem real, not something 30 or 40 years down the road, something to take action on now. But then at the same time, we do have to educate on the basics, because we found people misunderstood concepts like UV index or SPF. And furthermore, what's the point of personalizing experience if we don't give them the tools and information to prevent the danger in their real lives? We also felt the experience would require recurring engagement given the breadth of information we had to provide. And at the same time, it couldn't be boring. Our experience would have to be entertaining first and informative second to really make an impact. Lastly, given the scope of the project, how we want to launch in Singapore and then bring it all the way back to UT Austin, the experience needs to be playable anywhere, anytime. With all that in mind, our final experience will utilize game design principles and augmented reality. Game design in the form of leaderboard and scoring system and a 2D auto runner. You can think of that like Jetpack Joyride or Temple Run, like the images on the top right. And augmented reality in the form of face filters to demonstrate the adverse effects of UV exposure. Now we'll be walking you through the entire experience step by step. First and foremost is the sign in or sign up page. So the first thing our players will see in the sign up is this page. And if I just sign up, they'll be asked for their name and email, as well as their age, gender, and skin type, which we use to customize the experience and AR filter. It will also provide essential research information moving forward. And then if you could have caught that right there, I want to also note the art direction. Our aim is to show real environments that occasionally transition to a UV camera perspective that we can see like an example of in the upper right image on the slide here. The aim is to, make this seem real, but not like to visualize UV rays, but to, at the same time, make this seem realistic, if that makes any sense.
Now, when users actually sign up for the experience, we connect them to our database to pull a current list of teams for them to join, as well as provide the user the option to create a team if they're not already, or if they don't already have one, they didn't get invited from one of their friends. Previous research suggested that behavioral change is more likely to occur if the conversation begins with friends and family, people that the user knows personally, as opposed to a social action campaign that they read off the internet and then just kind of write off as an advertisement. Therefore, we implemented a team and a leaderboard mechanic to enhance competition, which you can see here. Users can invite their friends to their team by tapping an open slot on the leaderboard. Pulls up the share sheet that you're maybe familiar with if you have an iPhone. The leaderboard updates in real time as users finish each run of the game, given their final score at the end of the run, and it's added to their cumulative total, which is the number that you see there. The whole team's cumulative score is illustrated by that gradually filling gauge at the bottom of the screen, so 62%. And the end game is for all of the players' scores on the team to accumulate 93 million points, which is represents the distance to the sun. We really wanted to highlight these individual player scores to provide a sense of competition, so kind of incentivize them to play the game again to beat their friends.
Now, the mechanics of the game lie in the 2D auto runner category. So our user flies from left to right and hazards and items move right to left. Tap on the screen to fly upwards, and don't do anything for your character to fall downwards. The aim is to get as far as possible without the HP bar shown in the bottom left corner there, hitting 0. And the only way to increase the HP bar is by collecting the sunscreens of varying SPFs of 15, 30, or 60. Other mechanics we're tinkering with is shades. So if our player flies behind the shade, their HP bar does not go down, and also sunglasses or hats, which would work as an armor effect, where the HP doesn't fall as fast of a rate. In the top left corner, you might have noticed a UV index indicator rising steadily. It dictates the difficulty of the game. So the higher the number, the more difficult the game gets. HP will fall quicker, sunscreen becomes less effective, and the map starts to fly a whole lot faster. And also you may notice the score climbs at a much higher rate depending on the UV index level the player is in. Now it's important to note that our leaderboard system will be used to incentivize users to want to increase their score and keep playing, especially given that players on the leaderboard are friends and family, people that the user probably knows personally. With that in mind, we've implemented optional survey questions for players to either revive themselves in-game or increase their score after the fact. Ultimately, the answers to these questions will help personalize the AR filter that our users see and also provide data collection for research purposes. So here we have revival questions, some questions like this, like which 2 UV regions contribute to the risk of skin cancer? If our user correctly guesses UVA and UVB, for example, they get to continue playing. If they guess incorrectly, then in the results page, they will see the correct answer and why that's the correct answer. Also, we have the multiplier option. So for more behavioral questions, right? So where we are dialing into our users' perception of sun care. Depending on the answers they choose for either of these surveys, their AR filter worsens and their score increases proportionally. Now, after the game, our audience will end up at the results page. On the left, you see collection stats. So where users see the number of sunscreens they've collected throughout the game. If they tap on the SPF icons, information will pop up about the efficacy of the particular sunscreen, but in real world terms. In the middle, we have our player's score for the previous run and also the accumulative score, which tallies the score of all of our users' previous run-throughs of the game. And on the right, we have team progress, which relates to the overall objective that Daniel mentioned previously when chatting about the leaderboard. So in this instance, our user helped their team get 8% closer to the end objective of defeating the sun. Oh, geez, Daniel, what's going on here, buddy?
Now, as a little disclaimer here, this is not our app. This is a filter currently available on the App Store by Titus Brinker. We'd like to make a few improvements to their design, but it should give you a good idea of generally what we're trying to accomplish. This is not exactly a flattering photo of me to begin with, but the idea is after users play the autorunner game, they've been effectively exposed to the sun for a given period of time. Essentially, repeated plays increase the player's scores, but also progressively worsen the effects of the filter that they'll see at the end of each run. These screenshots are just an example of how that progression might occur. With regards to social interactivity, friends can look at one another's AR filters by tapping their name on the leaderboard. If you press Daniel here, then you get the same similar effect that you had just seen on the previous slide. By being able to look at your teammates' filters, it becomes a conversation topic, like how to get that bad or how's yours just fine, which we generally hope is to guide further independent inquiry into the dangers of UV exposure and how you can better combat it. Of course, this project would not be able to be fleshed out in Singapore without the assistance of our partners at Nanyang Technological University, who have been instrumental in reaching out to students for focus groups and preliminary data collection. We'd like to extend our connections with them over the summer to conduct research, and we will be working with them remotely as we unfortunately will be unable to physically travel there this summer. We have also identified a few foundations in our preliminary research we'd like to reach out to, like the Singapore Cancer Society and the Dermatological Society of Singapore, to extend the reach of our project past college students at both UT and NTU. After we gain traction, we'd like to flesh out the entrepreneurial aspect of our project via brand partnerships, incorporating companies like Banana Boat to sponsor in-game items like sunscreen. Finally, we'd like to bring the project back to UT with a secondary set of data collection. As we anticipate the experience taking roughly 1 week to implement, we'd like to pair these back to sometime in August, or pair these back to back sometime in August. We'll be reaching out when the app is complete for data collection. If you're a current UT student, you'd like to get involved, we'll be sure to be on the lookout for that. Overall, we appreciate your time. Thank you for coming out to the showcase today. If you have any questions about or advice for our project, feel free to let us know in breakout rooms here in the next few minutes. Thank you.
Round of applause. How many of you learned something about skin cancer just then, right? Hands up. I think I saw SPF 50 all the way the chat, and I'm Irish, so I'm totally down for that already. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break out into breakout groups.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I think everyone is back, so welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversations in the breakout rooms, and we're going to go right into the first project of Eyes on the Sky.
All right, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed your conversations with the last two teams. I am Kyle. Hornraiser is going to go ahead and start us off with the Eyes on the Sky narrative. Basically, what's going to happen, we are going to go over the overall perspective of Eyes on the Sky, and then go over the key accomplishments Hornraiser was able to obtain over the last semester. So we're going to start you off with this TikTok.
So I got a bit of bad news for you, some bad outer space news. It's kind of important. This week, China launched a rocket for its space station, and that went great. The rocket is successfully in orbit, but the launcher, which is the size of a 10-story building, accidentally also went into orbit and is descending back to Earth, and no one knows where it's going to crash or what it's going to crash into. Well, that's not quite true. We know that it's going to crash probably within the next 2 weeks, somewhere south of New York and north of New Zealand, which, to clarify, is this area. Is this a big deal? Yeah, kind of. The launcher weighs about 21 metric tons. That's a lot. That's very large. Nothing has fallen to Earth of that size in our lifetime. So yeah, this could be a big deal. So maybe for the next couple of weeks, if you live within that danger area, which you probably do.
Yes, so Eyes on the Sky is a story about humanity and the elements common to us all, our sky. Eyes on the Sky encapsulates these core themes. Environmental, for us to be able to survive in space, we have to learn how to live in a balance with our environment. Geopolitical, there are competing global interests which currently threatens our future way of life. And space commerce, we currently are seeing private corporations competing for their piece of the Wild West, when ultimately this shouldn't be a game. So therefore, we need to think about how we can jointly manage space and protect it for the long run.
So Eyes on the Sky is a transmedia story world with both an immersive experience and a 6-part docuseries. And the goal is to increase awareness of the dangers of space junk. And for our capstone, our project has mainly been revolved around the immersive experience. So the immersive Sky Dome is a combination of projection mapping experience, theater stagecraft, and cutting-edge extended reality technology. So this experience really creates an unparalleled, interactive and emotional experience for all of the people that walk through, and it's designed to combine both the physical and digital interactions. So it's a 20-minute journey, and they engage about 8 participants at a time with the goal of 10,000 people traveling through it each year. And so the project is really hoping to make this invisible, wicked problem visible to the human's eye through really making them exposed to all the space environmentalism and influencing behavioral change.
This slide shows Eyes on the Sky plan for funding. The team divided the funding process into 3 different phases. Phase 1 is prototyping. We are raising $75K to secure partnership for the experience and help us develop the Sky Dome prototype, which will be used to raise additional funds to complete and distribute the project worldwide. This phase includes the College of Fine Arts, Cockrell School of Engineering, and Moody College of Communication. Phase 2 is for the immersive experience pre-production, and by Phase 3, the project will be ready to be distributed. As you can see, this project will be developed over the next couple of years, and it also includes multiple ways to get involved. Now I will be introducing Hornraiser. Hornraiser is the funding campaign for Eyes on the Sky. We started this marketing campaign from scratch during this semester, and this is what we have been working on as our capstone project for the Texas Immersive program.
Yeah, so we launched our crowdfunder campaign March 23rd. We are currently in our 9th week. Our team has effectively spread awareness of the dangers of space debris. For instance, Marie Bajal has appeared on BBC, The Verge, Forbes, and CNN. We've casted an audience across the USA, Canada, South America, UK, Australia, and India. I'll let Sarah take it from here.
So to kind of summarize where we've gone in our progress, so we've raised close to $28,000 and made over 700,000 impressions, because we also have our 27 active ambassadors with their audience and their impressions, and then our own audience as well. And so our campaign ends next week. For our strategy throughout this crowdfunder campaign and throughout these past 10 weeks, we've mainly been focusing on socials, influence, and experiential. So for socials, with our personal website, our Instagram account, along with Instagram takeovers. And then for influence, we provide our ambassadors with weekly packages, and we give them we share with them social media templates for them to share, and along with email templates. So this is a video of Sven Ortel's class, and this was of them building the prototype. And so it really shows it takes an army to build this project, and it's really cool to see all of the technology and all the programs come together. And we'll be hearing more about this in the next presentation as well.
Yes, and so that brings us to the question, what are you going to do? So we really encourage you, go ahead, scan this QR code, make a donation, share it with your friends, your families, your social, your professional contacts. Also, you can go right to Congress. Anything helps. We all have a part to play in this. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Following us will be 2 other projects that also have to do with Eyes on the Sky. There you can see how students have brought Eyes on the Sky to life over the last year. Virtual productions, you are good to present.
Great, thank you. So this is going to be slightly different than the other presentations because now I'll be big. But we have 2 things to show you all. So first off is going to be the teaser trailer that we made on that green screen stage that you just saw. And then right after that is a behind the scenes video of this whole thing. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
This is a town like many, many others. There's nothing particularly unique about this town. It's peaceful, it's safe. I don't want to give it all away just yet, but I have to tell you a few things. Things aren't quite what they appear to be. We're in a state of disharmony with our environment, and it's actually not about just what's going on Earth, it's about what's happening in space. Hi, my name is Morba Jha. I'm an astrodynamicist, a space environmentalist, and an associate professor of aerospace engineering and engineering mechanics at the University of Texas at Austin. Together with a group of students and faculty, we're trying to make a difference. It's a project called Eyes on the Sky. Why? Let me show you something. We're currently working on a prototype to deliver a different kind of experience, because when it comes to solving wicked problems, we need to find new ways to tackle them and raise awareness. What we're trying to do is investigate new ways of storytelling. Me, I'm a scientist, I have lots of data. But I can't just show people data and it makes sense. I want my audience to be all of you, to be humanity itself. And for this to be successful, we're investigating this thing called mixed reality, which is a fusion of both physical and digital experiences. We're developing this prototype called the Sky Dome. Basically, it's an immersive portal. In essence, it can take you anywhere in the universe and make you believe it. All these dots that you see swirling around me, these things are mostly space garbage, space debris, different orbital altitudes, orbital highways, moving in near real time. And a lot of this number crunching is happening at the Texas Advanced Computing Center as we speak. Here's the Earth, but what I really want to show you is where the International Space Station is located right now. In order to really understand this problem of space debris, let's go a little bit closer to home. Okay, welcome to Near Earth Orbit and the International Space Station. This is what the view of the Earth would look like if we were on board the space station, which is orbiting the Earth at about 400 kilometers above the Earth's surface. As you can see, it's already quite busy up here and is going to get busier all the time. Remember those yellow dots in astrograph? Well, these yellow dots represent dead satellites, pieces of debris, just like this satellite that you see drifting behind me. Unfortunately, 95% of all the objects that we track orbiting the Earth are like this one, basically dead pieces of junk. As it turns out, all this debris orbiting the Earth can cause a whole lot of damage. In fact, something the size of my cell phone could punch right through the International Space Station, or take out an entire network of communication satellites.
Now we're gonna go back over to Sven Ortel for a second, and then we'll show a behind the scenes video.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hope you can hear me. We were hoping to share a behind the scenes video with you, but the video is really long because there was so much to cover. So we'll share the link with you all and you can watch in your own time, but we're gonna show a little part of it. I just wanna give a little bit of context to what you just saw, because that was kind of the accumulative project of this semester, but also a lot of things that happened the previous semester fed into it. We started working on Eyes in the Sky, and I started working on Eyes in the Sky over the summer with Aaron, Kyle, Rachel, Moriba, Lucy, and Patricio. So this is sort of a big moment, and this teaser, we just finished editing about 90 minutes ago, and you're sort of amongst the first people who've seen it. Now, what is it? It's a little meta in the sense that it's created in XR, meaning that the only thing real in there is actually Moriba. The space and the scenery is all generated in real time in Unreal Engine, but the spatial relationships are all true, meaning when Moriba walks, through a door, he actually walks through a door, even though it's not a real door. When he gets hit by light, the actor Moriba also gets hit by light. So it creates this sort of visual cohesion, which is really new and interesting, particularly because it happens in real time and you can control it in real time and you can make adjustments real time. There is a little bit of an Easter egg in there, in a sense that the dome that we have been talking about for a really long time, that's in the teaser, is actually designed to be real. Meaning that it adheres to all the rules you would apply to a scenic piece. And there are technical drawings for it, and it's specified there is an equipment list, et cetera, et cetera. So we can actually go into it and look around. We can take a virtual camera and look around it, et cetera, et cetera. So, and Logan designed that also as a production assignment. So there is a lot. It's very dense, the information that's in there. And we did that because we felt visual storytelling is really kind of what we focus on in this program that I lead. And this is so complex and layered. This seems to like the ideal medium to do it in. Logan, you want to give us a little bit of the teaser?
Of the
behind the scenes? Sorry, the behind the scenes thing.
We just watched the teaser.
Yeah, I'm a little fried out. I worked on this until probably a few hours ago as well.
That's all good. Yeah, let me give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes action.
We're at a point where everything is changing, and we are in a place where we can actually respond to changes much quicker and be pioneers together with all the people that are working in the professional world solving the same problem. So rather than traditionally looking at the industry and seeing what they're doing and then seeing whether we can emulate it or we can do a version of that and teach it, we are actually solving the same problems or creating experiences that respond to the moment at the very same time.
My name is Zoe Crow. I'm a second-year integrated media designer. I've learned that it's really cool to be working on something that is also happening in the industry right now, and that we're like on the front end of it versus the back end, and that I've learned that if every person has like a base knowledge of what everyone else is doing, but not like overbearing or like breathing down other people's necks, that it's really efficient and really good to like be able to talk and help problem solve together, but then everyone has their own thing that they're doing. It's been really fun working on this project. A lot of my role has come now as we're filming versus before building the stuff. So it's been really cool to see everything come together and be able to like so smoothly move into filming.
What I think really helped bring everybody together was being here in this space. And I'm not speaking about the virtual space here, but the real space in the studio. Not just the communications that we have, the real communications, verbal communications that we have, but just the whole team being here together and seeing everybody work and do their specific role or play out their specific roles in order to create this really is surprising and exciting really to an extent to see how it all happened in the background with Zoom meetings and how we were talking about what was happening essentially in each person's home and behind the screen, what was happening behind their screen, to coming together in one room and seeing all of that work, essentially plug and play.
So my name's Jackson Cobb, and I am a first-year integrated media student. So I have two main roles on the project. One of them hasn't started yet. I am the editor on the project, so I'm going to start editing this footage in the upcoming week for the teaser that, if you're watching this, you probably already saw. And the other role that I had was kind of the XR lighting programmer. So I'm working on more traditional mediums like lighting and sound and helping to integrate those into a newer XR space.
We've never had something like this the way you all have set it up, where we have the lights working in concert with the virtual lights, which really, as far as I'm concerned, pushes this into the next level. So it's not just a live key, but you're really, blending both worlds pretty much the best way you can, short of us actually having an LED volume around here.
I guess that, on screen it maybe looks simple, I guess, or like maybe that it just works, but that it actually takes a lot of hard work, a lot of people, and a lot of collaboration to get it to look so good on screen.
Booyah. If somebody would have told you that you're going to be talking to a bunch of students about an XR shoot that's promoting a immersive experience that's trying to draw attention to the challenge of space debris, what would you have said?
No way, no way.
A year ago? I would have said that sounds like an exciting way to use mixed reality pipelines, because you're involving something that's already kind of ethereal and intangible, like space. And so I would have liked the idea and the motivation behind a project that was trying to showcase something that feels intangible. I really like the projects that use XR or AR in ways to show us things that we don't really see, but that are all around us. And so I think the use of XR in this case is really valuable, because we're trying to show people all of this space junk that is around us all the time, but we have no idea actually that it's there. And so I think I would have been excited about it, and I still am.
I think that's it. Thank you, Logan.
Awesome. Thank you guys. That was honestly amazing. And so now that Eyes on the Sky marketing, you can go ahead and take the floor.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the evening. Now, we know that you saw some incredible works in progress explaining this movement and all of its different moving parts, but we wanted to reassure you that you don't have to wait a year to have an immersive Eyes on the Sky experience. Our team has created a digital marketing experience that helps build the momentum for the exciting things that Eyes on the Sky has in store in the future. But before we hop in, allow me to introduce the team. My name is Fatima, and I am the creative director.
Hi, I'm AJ, and I'm the production designer.
I'm Olivia, the executive producer.
And here you can see all of our cross-disciplinary team members, as well as the leads, which are in color. So if anybody out here is hiring, here is your cheat sheet. Now, while the purpose of this experiential marketing activation is to build awareness of the Eyes on the Sky movement, we made our priority accessibility, approachability, that is personal relevance, and we really wanted to emphasize the importance of making it a shareable experience. So we're going to go ahead and hop into the demo so you guys can see what we did.
Hey, everybody. We're super excited to share this experience with you. And for the sake of time, I'll be leading the ship today, but feel free to scan and follow along on mobile. And one more thing, I'm going to need your help in just 1 second, so get your chat boxes ready. Okay, let's get this thing started.
All right, and I just realized I forgot to click share sound, so I will do that right now.
Okay, so we're about to pick 2 characters. Can you choose between the Twitch streamer and the park ranger and send whichever character you want to go down? Okay, seeing some Twitch, some park, some Twitch, some park. Oh my goodness, let's go with Twitch. Let's go with Twitch.
Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. Remember to donate so I can get a Tesla.
Let's chat with the viewers.
Hey, Awesome Saw 64. It's always great to see you typing. Yo, thank you so much for the donation. Oh my gosh, Road to Tesla, let's go. Yo, should I get black or midnight blue or so? Oh, wait, y'all know what that means. All right, pausing the game because it is burrito time. Let's get. Okay. All right, let's do this.
Ooh, let's deal with the pain.
Oh, God, that happens every time. Whatever. What? No. Come on. Oh, you've got to be kidding.
Let's check the router.
Come on. Ugh. Okay, the router seems to be working, so let me check. Wait, no connection. Wait, what?
Let's check the neighbors. Take cover.
All right, so this is the single most important part of our experience, the splash page, where we can direct our audience to the many different facets of Eyes on the Sky. So for example, if you click Learn More, it will take you to Moribuz's incredible research and eventually link to the full docuseries. There are some other icons on there like Join, which will take you to the Eyes on the Sky social media. Donate will direct you right back to Hornraiser. Act will take you to a resist bot that will allow you to send an automated message to a Congress member, and so on and so forth. So now that you've gotten to play a little bit, we wanted to walk you through our process and workflow from start to finish. And before we started anything, we knew that what we needed to do was create a cohesive look and feel for the entire Eyes on the Sky brand. So here's just a slice of our comprehensive branding guidelines. Here you see our logo, which is a symbol for the Earth's atmosphere, and we designed it to be interactive in the future. So Eyes on the Sky advocates will receive a uniquely generated logo that will allow them to kind of take ownership of their involvement with the Eyes on the Sky movement. Here you can see our color palette, which again is rooted in really nuanced symbolism. And our iconography, which is a big part of our branding. This sort of captures the elusive nature of the unknown frontier that is space. And then as we shifted to micro branding our specific experience, we wanted it to be distinct and standalone while also complementing the overall branding of Eyes on the Sky. So we drew inspiration from some shows like The Twilight Zone and WandaVision to really capture that sort of eerie and suspenseful tone. And then finally, as we started shaping the narrative, we knew that we had to really dive into research to understand our audience better. And so we were able to segment our audience into 3 pieces: digital native, space enthusiasts, and environmentalists. And we chose these segments because they may be unaware of the space environmentalism movement or the catastrophic threat of space junk, but they still live lives that are heavily integrated and reliant on the infrastructure that space tech brings us. And then here you can see how our audience segments manifested into our character profile. So if you're interested later on, you can click on any of these and it will take you to the Inkle Writers, which is just an interactive writing platform, and you can see our writing team's work come to life.
So on the development side, we went with a software called Echo Studio because of its choose your own adventure functionality to give the audience a sense of agency when going through the experience, and it was optimized for mobile. We also shot with a GoPro to get that first-person perspective and immersion to further that sense of urgency throughout the experience. And here's a visualization of the pathways that we designed for each experience. Each experience varies from about 4 to 5 minutes, keeping it short and sweet for mobile viewing. We really wanted to highlight the decision-making process to ensure that we engage the audience and hold their attention throughout viewing. Ultimately, each brand has the same core structure and leads to the same catastrophe and call to action. Now you can see our early storyboard that we created before we started filming. These guided our in-sequence development and shows our main vision for the character's ending, in which they share the same fate with the white noise sequence that leads to the satellites crashing. Here's a quick view of our wireframes. This is our behind the scenes. In the beginning, we wanted to go with a vertical video for easy mobile viewing, but then we later decided we didn't want to trade off having the cinematic feel, and we went with a horizontal video for the experience.
Yeah, and our experience is definitely mobily optimized. That was a huge priority that we had to allow for shareability. But again, everything ties back to this single most important part of our experience, which is the splash page. We wanted to reinforce that everything ties back to this because this is really where we give our audience the tools to gain their own agency and political efficacy in the movement. So they are in one area, we've created a place for them to be connected to all of the different facets of Eyes on the Sky. And then finally, to promote our experience, we created a series of social media spots that would disrupt social media users by faking out what would happen to their feeds if satellites were to be disrupted in real time. And so I will play you a clip of one of our TikTok ads.
Free interactive games you should download.
With 500,000 man-made objects surrounding the Earth's atmosphere, our satellites are at constant risk of being compromised. If this continues, connectivity won't be the only issue. Without your help, each day will bring new challenges affecting all aspects of modern society.
All right. And that is all we have for you today. Please feel free to follow the QR code to play our experience, and we're happy to answer any questions you have during the breakout room session. Thank you so much.
Wow, phenomenal work. And can we give a round of applause to all 3 projects? As you can see, over the past year, a lot has been happening on the Eyes on the Sky project. So shout out to all of you. You've done just an amazing job. And what's really cool about this is if you were here yesterday seeing the launch publicly of the UT admissions project, you'll know that these type of immersive projects, they take years to develop. They take years to bring in the funding, to actually put the team together. And the students, you know, though they might leave, are actually participating. They might leave, go get jobs, you know, some of them are graduating, but they've been participating in a project that will spin out of the university and have real world application. So it's amazing to actually have their participation, their creative juice, and to be able to continue seeing it live on. So take this time for the next 20 minutes. We're going to open up the breakout rooms. And in room 1, we're going to put the Eyes on the Sky Hornraiser team, because as you recall, this is all preliminary pre-production work we've been doing, you know, to get ready to reach out to the audience. So I'll put a Hornraiser and Sven's class in virtual production in room 1, and the Eyes on the Sky marketing experience with Fatima, that Fatima and AJ just let us in. That's something we will use going forward to encourage people. But before we break out, I just want Moraba Jaw. This would have not happened without him. He is the expert rock star astrophysicist that we are bringing to life through these immersive, trying to communicate science in a unique and novel way. So Moraba, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, so I think the thing that I want to say is just to underscore everything that you've said, Aaron. I am so, I'm still trying to process everything that I've seen tonight. A lot of this is me seeing this for the first time, and I'm completely awestruck and very moved by this. You know, this is a really, it's a global problem that we need to address. UT is at the forefront of this. The fact that all these students and faculty have gotten together to really tell this story in a way that is digestible, that people can comprehend, get their arms around, is very unique. And I feel so honored and humbled, you know, to be a part of this. And I want to thank especially all the students that have put their blood, sweat, and tears in this. This is really awesome. Like, I've been on social, like as I'm seeing this stuff, I'm putting stuff on social media, and I'm like just telling everybody, you've got to see this stuff, right? And it's really amazing. And like I said, this is definitely this is pioneering work, like Sven says. And I appreciate you, Aaron, Sven, and Deepak, and all the students so much for this. It reminds me of, you know, being in Alaska in 2015 and having that kind of experience, that inner shift of space environmentalism. And wow, it's like, yeah, we're at 2021, 6 years later. We've come a very long way, and this could have only happened at UT Austin with all you folks. So thank you so much.
Great, great. Well, stick around. Everyone hop over to the breakout rooms. I'm sure you'll have tons of questions and comments. And as Moraba says, booyah, let's go to breakout. So now that we're back, what we're going to do is we are going to jump right into the awards. And I would like to tell you a little bit, if you've kind of come back or didn't hear at the beginning, or what you weren't here yesterday. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about that. This is the first time we're doing the Texas Immersive Explorer Awards. And we designed these to celebrate the industry of interactive and immersive communication and the outstanding accomplishments of student projects. So at the end of each spring, projects are going to be voted on by industry judges and bring together the best of immersive student work. So the Explorer Awards will encourage students to push outside of traditional methods of communication. And we hope to look for the next generation of thinkers and problem solvers that will change the world. So I met with our 3 judges who I'd like to introduce you to right now. First, we have Francesca Marie Smith, Dr. Francesca Marie Smith, who's a consultant, designer, and thinker whose work most broadly is on the experience of story. Her career has spanned a range of roles over more than 3 decades, from performance and creative development to scholarly analysis. And I've been popping into the breakout rooms, and I know that she's given you guys a ton of notes, which is amazing. Write it down, because it really will help. I always go to Fresca for feedback. So thank you for coming, Fresca. And then we have Lisa Bennett. So if you guys don't know of Lisa Bennett, Lisa is the new executive director of the lab at the School of Advertising and PR. And she has a wealth of knowledge in the industry, having 25 years of management experience, including 17 in the role of Chief Creative Officer at 3 different agencies. So she was pretty informative in helping figure out the judging because she's judged everything. She has been recognized with multiple Cannes Lions, D&AD Pencil Awards, Clio Awards, Hall of Fames. She's been an international jury at all of them, and really kind of helped us think through what should these awards look like. So where I came in with 2 awards, over the time we actually kind of modified it and changed it, and we ended up with 4 awards this first year. So it's kind of exciting. And last but not least, we have Ani Vardavarian, who also has been in the breakout rooms giving some amazing feedback. Ani is an interactive producer currently focusing on bringing Disney properties to life in the second screen space. So explorers, you might remember Ani because she was part of the Disney Fireside Chat that we had earlier this year. Ani has spent her career at the intersections of storytelling, user experience, and technology to create immersive worlds that inspire imagination, creative play, and human connection. She is right up our alley. So we are super excited to have Ani here. So thank you, judges, for spending not just these 2 days with me and with all the students and faculty, but also over the past week as we looked at the presentations together. And I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Fresca to describe the Best Storytelling Award.
Thank you, Erin. I am so excited to be part of this, and it was such a pleasure to be able to see all of these projects and to really spend so much time thinking about them, talking them through with my fellow judges and with Erin, but then also to be able to speak to the students directly and everyone who worked on them. It's been a really wonderful couple of days, and I hope you agree with me. I'm also honored to be presenting the award for Best Storytelling, which of course can be a very large category, a very widely interpreted term. But for us, this chosen project represents outstanding achievements in unlocking the imagination, giving the audience a unique and novel way of participating in a story. So in addition to being unique and being novel, the project also needed to represent some sort of cohesive branding that contributed to an experience. And for me, it does something a little bit more than that. It also exhibits a thoughtful reflection and creativity in transforming what is otherwise just a product, brand, or event into something that really looks more like what we'd understand as story. Finally, that story has to be presented in a way to the audience that is meaningful to them, that is relevant to them, that inspires them in some way. And I think you'll agree, and certainly the judges agreed, that the project we chose does that. Where this project really excelled for us is in the way it creatively transforms reality into a story. And I think at this point, I should probably just drop the suspense and tell you which project I'm talking about before singing its praises in a little bit more detail. I'm pleased to present the inaugural Best Storytelling Award to the Texas Immersive Marketing Experience. Now, before I get into all the names of everyone who was involved and and so we can give them their well-deserved celebration, I do want to just explain a little bit of why we felt this represented something so important in terms of storytelling. A marketing campaign for the TXI program could very easily have been just traditional exposition, detailing its benefits and accomplishments, maybe with some testimonials about student experiences. I think we can all imagine what that website would look like. We've probably seen a number of those websites. But what this team came up with is so refreshingly different. It still manages to capture what they personally see as valuable about TXI, and it still showcases its projects, but it does so in a playful, personalized, and narrativized way. I will say, admittedly, it's an indirect approach to marketing, so it can be at times a little bit difficult to follow, and so it may lose audience members who aren't that invested already in wanting to work through the experience. And if I could make one suggestion, it would just be to maybe refine a little bit of that through line from start to finish of why the audience is there. But even though it's taking a bit of a risk in that way, I do think that it's enjoyable enough for us to forgive some of that confusion and just really become intrigued. You all saw the comments in the chat. People just thought it was beautiful, and we wanted to continue on and learn more. So the first thing I'll highlight is that tone. It really gives a sense of how extraordinary the program is by quite literally representing it as a fantasy world, and one that we kind of want to hang out in. But somehow it doesn't feel cheesy or self-important or anything else. It strikes a good balance. Its imaginative fictional layer is appealing and entertaining, but it's still grounded by important information about what the program does. Second, we felt the execution too was refreshing. It's fairly lightweight in terms of its technological demands, but still beautiful. And just because the technology appears straightforward and elegant, of course, we recognize that that doesn't mean the students didn't put a ton of work into making it look that elegant. And the visuals and the music, they really just differentiated this campaign from what you would expect to see from a university program without making it totally inaccessible. Finally, the idea of personalization and quizzes isn't particularly new, but I'm particularly fond of using that approach as a way to help the story and accordingly, the Texas Immersive program become more directly relevant to the audience. It's a way of speaking to the audience saying, here's what we already think you're amazing at. And it brings them naturally into the pre-existing conversation of what TXI is. It subtly lays out these possibilities for what the audience might do if they were to become a part of TXI themselves. But even if they don't, the process is still fun and thought-provoking. So in order to have made all of this happen, I think this is really the most important part of this achievement in storytelling. The students had to really reflect on the inner workings of the program and deeply understand what makes it tick, and then translate that reflection into a piece of art. So we are so happy to be able to honor these students for their insights and creativity in transforming their world into a story, and then creating the opportunity for audiences to join them there. I'll name the students unless Erin, you'd like to. You're muted, but I think that means I should go ahead so therefore I apologize if any of these names I do horribly with. It seems that the Experience TXI campaign was created for Texas Immersive in the spring 2021 immersive experience class involving creative directors Sarah Fung and Kavina Su, lead writer Taylor King and the writing team of Katie Guy and Paige Cabianca, game developer lead of Jin Shu and team member Anna Pickett, and multimedia lead Ivy Lee with a media team of Joshua Ramirez and Janelle Corral. Anyway, that's all for me. Thank you so much. Congratulations to everyone.
Thank you so much, Fresca. Such thoughtful feedback, really interesting to reflect on how far this team has come and see it come to life and see it used going forward. I'm so excited to use it going forward and bring in more explorers. I know all of you explorers received an email from me today saying, here's all the ways to stay involved, and you thought you were leaving and graduating, but of course I already introduced you to the new explorers. So I'll probably be expecting getting that email every semester so that they can reach out to you and we can keep building this network out. So fantastic. The next award is going to Ani. Ani, do you want to present the impact? It's not going to you. You're going to tell us who.
I'll take it. First of all, huge congratulations to the Experience TXI team. Wonderful work. We loved being able to talk through that project, and big congratulations to everybody here today and yesterday. I am just really heartened to see all of the incredible work that all of the TXI students have done over the past year. It's very clear that all of you have put not just your time and your energy into this work, but also your passion and your thoughtfulness. So all of you should be so proud of yourselves. Kudos. I am here to share the inaugural Impact Award for the Texas Immersive Class of 2021. So this chosen project impacts society and offers a responsive, responsible, and remarkable experience that connects with an audience in an authentic and meaningful way. So this chosen project met our criteria of having cohesive branding, contributing to a larger social cause. This was something that was easy for consumers to experience, and it was clear that the accessibility was well thought out. This project deeply understands their audience and how they will be reached, both from an interactive perspective as well as from a marketing position. This project very clearly has an impactful narrative behind it that connects to the audience. And finally, this project was very clear on the technology being utilized and if it exists today. So the winning experience covered all of these points, very much impressed us. And we wanted to call out a few things. We really appreciated how this team was very intentional with targeting an audience as well as a region that were most in need, most at risk, and most vulnerable. You know, when we talk about impact, these are things to take into consideration, and this team definitely did that. While there are areas that could be refined as with any new product, the overall concept is very strong. We'd love to see a little bit more exploration into the reward system, a competitive analysis with existing apps in the space, as well as potential partnerships. And we call these things out because this project, we think, has huge potential to evolve and expand to multiple platforms and global audiences. The application of traditional game mechanics as well as AR technology felt very well balanced and thoughtful in consideration of the target demo and how to best engage with them. And the underlying cause that was like the motivation for this entire experience is one that affects really every single person on planet Earth. And while there is a core demo that they've identified, it really does appeal to a much wider range of folks outside of that core demo. So technology and innovation are crucial to the development of the social impact sector. And I feel like as TXI students, this is something that you're all very well aware of. Having access to important data could potentially solve a number of social problems in the areas of health, poverty, transportation, and disaster relief, especially in developing countries where people might not have as much access to healthcare and where health professionals might not have as much immediate access to this kind of data. And so this project is very much a shining example of this kind of social impact innovation. And we are so proud to award the inaugural Impact Award to Solar Run, the skincare awareness campaign created for UT Austin's President's Global Award in the Spring 2021 Immersive Experience class. Big congrats to Armand, Daniel, Seha, Neha, Yiling, Melvin, and all of their wonderful faculty mentors who helped them through this. The future is very bright, and hopefully we will all be wearing enough SPF to keep us safe as we bask in its brilliance and your brilliance. So congrats again. You should all be very proud of yourselves. Great work.
Fantastic. Congratulations. It's exciting to see how Texas Immersive students have, connected with others, and really kind of fostered that transdisciplinary work, which is exciting to see. For new explorers who are here, maybe kind of getting your first taste into Texas Immersive, something to think about, getting involved in in the courses, but also extending into different projects that Texas Immersive puts our hand into is just something really nice to think about. So big thank you to the judges, Dr. Francesca Marie Smith, Ani Vadavarian, Lisa Smith, for taking your time and really thoughtful, constructive feedback to all of us so that we can continue to be amazing experience designers.